I still remember when this anime came out back in 2022, where it had 2 seasons, and it made me think like, okay, if it has 2 seasons, it probably should be good enough, right? And so that's when I hopped in right into it to Arifureta, and I was like, okay, you know, not that bad as I thought. I mean, to be completely honest, like dang, time flies pretty fast, and I still recall, even though I recall that memory of watching it during that time, there's not much I remember from the previous seasons, with even with season 3 finishing. But the cool part was that at the end of season 3, that it kind of shows a little flashback, which kind of reminded me of what Hajime, when he went through with his first encounter, of what made him change and what made him take that stance of survival. I still have that guilty pleasure of enjoying like that main character who gets kind of screwed over, but then actually finds a way to overcome that hardship, because F everyone and just you gotta take it upon yourself to do something about it. Yeah, I don't know. That's what's really been interesting for me, at least when watching this. For anyone that has watched Ari Ferretta, I think they can agree that they can just, I don't know, just find it enjoyable with, I mean, hey, the girls, and also it's kind of funny when they show Tio, who seems like he doesn't really care, but at the same time, I think he really does, well, especially in that one particular moment where uh, he was actually caring, and Tio having a different kind of response to her normal self, who happens to be very dirty minded and such. And it's okay because us fans love Tio anyway. To give you a little premise, in case you haven't heard of Ari Ferretta, main character, everyone, like his whole class, just summoned to a different world, and they just had to fight for some empire or something to fight the Demon Lord kind of thing. At least that's the objective, from what I remember, I think. And with him and his classmate, who was like the class idol, who was innocent and very likable and just just pure. And I just remember there was this one, and with that, like her being close to the main character, sometimes people get jealous. One guy being jealous and just kind of screwed him over, and when they were fighting in a dungeon, and that person took the opportunity and knocked his ass down, and he just got screwed over with like being injured and just having to crawl through his way to overcome, like just trying to survive. Ever since, I think ever since then, that's when I was like, okay, cool. Character is just trying to really survive, do whatever it has to take, does whatever it takes to just get out of the situation that he is in, and just seeing him grow upon that, like getting stronger, and seeing alongside the development of him having companions, and seeing the relationship with them, and each of them having their own different like traits. It's pretty pleasant, and or just pretty entertaining. But what's not entertaining is when you see these other righteous characters at times, or that jealous character, are just so cringe. But that's why it makes it satisfying when Hajime just really just shuts them up with action. Yeah, and I think it was those three, at least when it first started out, and eventually you get to see a little bit more along the way. Uh, just seeing, even despite him coming across harsh, or even as a cold person, you can see that he still shows affection and care for his comrades or his lovers that uh, has gone through the same kind of struggle or something similar. And it's really nice to see that actual protagonist actually showing affection, and rather than being dense or that normal isekai trend or trope. But season 3 being able to advance a bit more and seeing the progression to now where it's not about completing the objective for the empire that he was working for, or summoned to, or whoever summoned him. It's about more just like, I need to get home, find a way to overcome it with the magic that he has, and with those skills, he has the objectives to go back home, where you have to go to different challenges of like these different dungeons, and just trying to find a way to escape out of that. And I think what's really cool about those labyrinths is that each has their own set of challenges, where it's not your conventional way of just fighting a big boss, but rather it's going through some emotional setbacks, or sometimes just very tricky questions or puzzles, or just attacking your vulnerabilities and your insecurities, where you just wants to take you back sometimes and just want to keep you there at the dungeon. But funny enough, I feel like if it was just me in that position, I would just lose, just because I'd just be down bad. Fuck. But yeah, but at least you can see that Hajime has that strong will to just really get out of that situation. Also, season 3 is quite odd in this one. Although I still, man, season 3 with the beginning with one disturbing scene with one of the princesses. Oh yeah, yeah. I was like, this is not looking good. But you can kind of have that expectation that at least there will be some help from the main character, and which it when it does happen, it's satisfying, great. And one thing I did not expect was even though he has a significant other, you see he has his see that he actually cares more than just as for one companion, but actually things start to develop, and even his significant other accepts it because they gone a long way, and they also just finally I don't know. It's just pretty wholesome to see that he actually got to like show a bit of romance and actually some care because of his personality, like how he came from like an innocent boy to being who he is, who can come across as dick. So as a like a harsh person. And I think it's really cool that anyone that comes in harm for his companions or at him, he takes no second thoughts on just killing them. Really cool and badass to see. Also, in this case, in this season, it was really cool to see him be a leader and having those fight for their own cause. So that way, having the antagonist lose at their own game with him wanting to only listen to those in power. So pretty dope. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty enjoyable seeing how this progression is, and I still think I have trash memory of this. But overall, I think anyone that watches this will have the same kind of joy, and anyone that is currently watching this know exactly what I mean. So anyway, that's pretty much what I want to share, and I hope you enjoy this anime as well. And the ending song and the ending credits, my gosh, like such bedroom music and just the vibe of that, it's perfect.